Hello, Professor Letcher here. While your overall presentation is a team effort, I wanted to talk about how your individual work will be assessed during this project. Last night, I had the pleasure of dining with both Mr. Rowe of the Chamber of Commerce and the delightful Dr. Jones. Well, it was supposed to be just Dr. Jones and I. We had hoped to discuss issues related to the world of academia at length, but Mr. Rowe invited himself along. In any event, it was a delightful evening. During conversations over dessert, it occurred to us that those individuals presenting the winning proposals would likely be tapped by the mayor to implement the plans. But we wondered, how would we know whether the individuals who created those proposals would possess the knowledge and skills to be able to actually implement them? In fact, we also considered that perhaps the right implementation team would not necessarily be the exact people who originally prepared the proposal, but could end up being a team comprised of individuals from several different teams. Well, we rolled that around and around in our heads until we came up with what we think is a remarkable idea: quality, progress, and performance points, or QUAPP. Okay, so the acronym isn't that great, but here's the idea. The teams and/or individuals whose proposals are selected at the end of this process will eventually be asked to implement their plans. The characteristics of individuals we'd want implementing those proposals would be measured as components of QUAPP points, defined as timeliness. They get their work done in a timely fashion. When there's a deadline, the individual delivers on or before that deadline. Collaborative. They add to the research, discussion, and decision-making of the group. They share information with other team members, fulfill their role on the team, and communicates frequently, openly, and professionally with team members. They show expertise. They're experts in their fields. They demonstrate mastery of related content and points to research and previous experience to support their opinions and decisions. And they have an attention to detail and accuracy. All of the content and contributions that they provide are accurate, true, and free from errors. So, how will QUAPP points be calculated? Well, through the magic of rubrics, of course. If a project does not start or end on time, it will add to the costs of the project, but would also delay the help needed by the Elbonians and Deep Havenites. We want to ensure that the solutions chosen are implemented in a timely manner. To that end, I will be measuring each proposal participant on his or her timeliness using the rubric here on a 5-point scale from 0 to 4. No work is completed, 0 points. Some or all work was completed, but none of it was completed by or before the deadline date, 1 point. All work is completed, but some of it is late after the deadline date, 2 points. All of the work required was completed on the deadline date, 3 points. Some or even all of the work is completed before the deadline date, 4 points. The winning proposals will most certainly be implemented by a team of individuals, so it's important that each member of that team demonstrates the ability and willingness to work collaboratively with others. Each proposal participant will be assessed on their collaboration skills using the rubric here. I won't read each and every one of these to you, but I will call out the components. You'll be scored from 0 to 4 on how well you contribute to research, discussions, and decision-making for your group, how well you fulfill your agreed-upon role on your team, how you communicate with your team frequently, openly, professionally, and how well you demonstrate listening and sharing. If someone completes their work in a timely manner and collaborates well, but doesn't have a stitch of expertise, they will bring the entire team's performance down. Individual evidence of expertise will be measured by the following 7-point scale. Note that each level is represented by a factor of 5. So instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, participants are measured by 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 points. This is to indicate the relative weighted importance of expertise in such a project. If you add no content, facts, or research that in a given week, you'll have 0 points. If you provide a minimal amount of content, facts, research, but there's no citation, you'll get 5, and 10, and 15, 20, and 25 as we go down the rubric. Please also note that measures of expertise requires you to indicate the source of your information. If you are quoting material authored by another, do your best to indicate the source. If, however, it's something you've learned from experience or perhaps from a course you took, like on Coursera, indicating that can improve your expertise score. The final component of QUAPP, attention to detail and accuracy, is very important. If you are an expert in your field, yet make silly mistakes, or worse, provide false information, well, that could be very troubling indeed. Again, I have weighted the increments by 5 to show the importance of this rubric. So what, you might be asking, will I be measuring using those rubrics? Well, I'll be monitoring the forums you post to, the Google Docs you help to create, and the Lino boards on which you participate. I will apply the rubrics to any of those areas of work each week. And each week, you can earn up to 60 points. The individual scores of a team will be averaged to determine the team score. I will keep a running total of those scores and post them to a leaderboard on the Elbonian Challenge site to help motivate you in your competition against other teams and individuals. Team scores will be one variable used in deciding how grant money will be distributed amongst proposals. Here's an example of the QUAPP scores being used in practice. Take Team X, for example, comprised of members A, B, and C. After reviewing the forums, Google Docs, and Lino Canvas work completed by member A in a single week, I might rate her a perfect score on timeliness, expertise, and attention to detail, but she may have done poorly in the collaboration department. Instead of a perfect score of 60, she earns a score of 52. When averaged with her teammates, scores of 40 and 40, their team score averages out to a 51. Note, I will always round up in the event of decimals. Some questions you might be asking. What if I'm not working as part of a team? There's a rare occasion where individuals respond to the RFPs. Well, then your team score will simply be the same as your personal score. What if a member leaves the team? Well, since the scores are averaged, the calculations will continue as described. You are not on a team and you don't want your score on the leaderboard. You can just let me know. We'll work through that. And what if you require an extension? Exceptions can be made in cases of emergency. Just contact me personally. Have any questions about the QUAPP process? Feel free to post them to the general project forum at the top of the Elbonian Challenge website.